Hello everyone and welcome back to the series. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the OR built-in function. Let's take a look at the Python docs. The OR function returns true in two situations. So the first is when all elements in the iterable evaluates to true. The function is going to return true. And the second is if the iterable is empty, then it's going to return true. Otherwise, it's just going to return false. So let's break it down. All right. So the function takes in a single argument. So all function takes in a single argument. That is the iterable. And this iterable could be a string. It could be a tuple. It could be a list. Let's take some examples first with a list of Boolean values. So I'm going to comment this one out real quick. Then I'm going to define a Boolean list of Boolean values. So I'm going to call it bool underscore values. So it's equal to, then I open a square bracket, say true, and I'm going to say false. Then lastly, I'm going to say true. Perfect. Then we're going to use the OR function. Looking at the syntax here, we're going to use OR, then I'm going to pass in the iterable, which in this case is the Boolean values here. Then from here, I will run it and it returns false. So if you're using the Python interactive shell, then you have to use the print. So I could do something like this, print, and I'm gonna print the OR of the iterable. So it's just gonna be like this. So perfect. So let's take a look at it, a closer look at it. This one is true, but this one is false. But let's try to extend our program a bit. So I'm gonna say if the all of if all of this is equal to true, then we're gonna print. So let's print all elements are true, else. So the else part is when there is a false value in it, you're gonna print something like not all elements are true. Okay, so we use this to evaluate, run a block of code. So we run it and it tells us that not all elements are true. So that is because of this. When I change this one to true, then I run it and it says all elements evaluates to true. All right, so in the next example, let's check it on an empty iterable. So let's define a variable called empty underscore list, and we make it empty iterable like this. Then from here we say all, then we pass in the empty iterable here like so, and this is gonna return true because we say the all function returns true even if the iterable is empty. All right, so now let's take an example on the list of numbers. So I'm gonna first define a variable called numbers, and I'm gonna call the numbers. Okay, so let me pass in these numbers. Perfect. Then we're gonna call all on numbers. So here is just gonna check to see if all the numbers evaluates to true. Supposing there is a 0 or anything like that, is gonna evaluate to false because one of the numbers is not evaluating to true. So when I run this is actually giving us what true. But let's try and then extend our program a bit. So suppose we want to check if all the numbers in the list are even numbers. So I'm gonna define a variable called even. Let me define a variable called even numbers. Even numbers, then I'm gonna use this or then we are going to say that we are going to iterate through all the numbers in this. So I'm going to call each number. Then if you want to check if a number is even, you would have to find the modulo of the number. And when you find the modulo is actually going to give us the remainder after you have divided it by a certain number. So when we find a modulo of the number by 2, then if the remainder is 2, we are 0, we are going to get even numbers. Or when you divide a number by 2 and there is no remainder, then it means the number is divisible by 2, and that makes it even number. So let me find the modulo of it, 2, and we say if that is equal to 0, then for number, this number should be coming from our list of numbers, like so. So here, then we're gonna print even numbers. We're gonna print even numbers like so. Print even underscore numbers. So let's run this, and we are getting through. So it means that the function goes through the first number, it divided it by 2, the remainder is going to be 0. It went through to the last element and everything was 0, and that's why it returned true. So let me change 14 to 15, and we know that 14 divided by 2, or the modulo of 15 by 2, is going to be 1. So it's going to return false, and that's why we're having false over here. All right, so let's take a look at the next example. So suppose you want to check if all your friends have been able to make it to your birthday party. So I'm just going to define a friend variable. So I'm going to call it friends underscore dict, because we are dealing with dictionary now. So this dictionary is going to have name of the friend as the key, and then the value is going to be the status, whether they made it or not. So it's going to be true if they made it, and it's going to be false if they didn't make it to the birthday party. So the first friend we're going to talk about is Techi, and he made it to the birthday party. The next is going to be, let's say, Ryan, and Ryan also made it to the birthday party. The last is, let's say, Haida, and this time around Haida couldn't make it to the birthday party. So now we want to find out if all our friends made it to the birthday party based on this dictionary. So we're gonna use our or function like this, and we're gonna pass in the friends dict, which contains everything right here. Then we're gonna say dot values. We are not interested in the keys, but we are interested in the value. So this is going to perform the OR operation, or the OR function is just going to iterate through the dictionary. But this time around, it only takes into consideration the values, that is the true, 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 and then false. So when we print this, okay, object is not friends, or so we're gonna say friend or dot value, sorry. So I have to run it like this, and then when I run it, we get false, all because Haida couldn't make it to the birthday party. Suppose Haida also made it to the party like this, then it's just gonna change it from true to change it from false to true. Perfect. All right. In the next example, we want to pass the iterable is actually going to be a string. So let's see how to do that. So I'm going to define a variable called my string. And then this variable is just going to be, let's say, hello world. All right. Then we say or, and then we pass this function to it. So we pass this variable name or list to it, and then you run it right away. And it tells us that the answer to this is true because everything here evaluates to true. All right. Okay, so from here, let's actually extend our program a bit. We want to check if all characters in the string are lower cases. We can use the or function to do that. So let's say result is equal to, then I'm going to take this one out right away. Result is equal to, and say or, then we gonna go through all the characters in the string here. So we say car, I'm gonna call it car, you can call it anything that is lower that is lower for character in this very string. So you're gonna copy this one, paste it here. So what we essentially want to do is that we want to return either true or false based on the outcome from here. So we're going to go through each character in this string and we check if it is lower, if all of them are lower for every character in this string, in this list. So if we check and everything is lower, then the function is going to return true. All right, so let me call it or print it like this. Results. So we print results, and here we are getting false. The reason why we are getting false is that there is a white space here, and white spaces cannot be lower cases or upper cases. So if you want to change the answer to this, we could just close the space like this and then run it again, and now it's returning true. In the last example, we're just gonna use it on set. So I'm gonna define a set. So my set, and you're gonna throw in this maybe 1, 2, and then 3. Then we say or, and then we pass my set to it. My set to it, run it, and we're gonna get true because all these elements here 1, 2, 3 all evaluates to true. But the moment I pass a false value like 0, then run it and it returns false. So this is how to use the or built-in function in Python. If you found this tutorial very helpful, please like and share the video, leave a comment in the comment section, and please don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, happy coding.